And this has been coming for a long, long time, Gene. When we get the fall.
What? What the devil? What is that? Wait a minute. Take a look. Get that dummy out of here. We're trying to conduct an interview.
Hey, fun fans, we're back with another episode of We Enjoy, a special guest edition this week. Our first guest and also our returning guest,
yes,
Liv Morgan, is back to talk about not just her favorite movie from the Child's Play Chucky franchise, but perhaps her favorite movie of all time, which is Bride of Chucky. So once again in the main event, WWE Superstar Liv Morgan will be joining us, who had a great showing at WrestleMania, did she not?
She did indeed. As we've already discussed, we sometimes will be pre-recording these segments to the guests, and I realized, we never asked her about Matt. Never asked her about the Joker and Harley gear that she and Ruby were wearing. That is a error on our part.
Well, when we get her back for Suicide Squad, when they finally release the Ayer cut or Iyer cut, then we can do that.
Okay.
So we have the Mattitude, Eric. I'm Matt Fowler. Say hello, Eric Goldman.
Hey, everybody. I realized I have a bunch of poppy seeds on my desk because I ate a poppy seed bagel earlier, and the evidence is all around me.
Just like that, the rock singer Poppy that NXT loves so much.
That's exactly what it is.
That's how she got her name.
Man, all the Poppy doesn't like poppy seed bagels.
Well, she just really loves the episode of Seinfeld where Elaine tests positive for heroin or opium or something because she ate a poppy seed bagel.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's just like that. Stay tuned for the main event with Liv Morgan talking Bride of Chucky. In the meantime, you can find Eric and myself on Twitter at @BMattFowler and @Eric Goldman. The podcast is at We Enjoy Podcast. You can email us at WeEnjoyPodcast@gmail.com. And for $2 a month, you can get a commercial-free version of this podcast over on Patreon. You can find us at We Enjoy Podcast over on Patreon. Okay. Not a lot of big earth-rattling news this week, Eric, to the point where sort of scouring to find something to talk about, a few items to talk about before we get to our good things to enjoy and then into the main event. But we didn't talk about the Oscars so much heading into it. We talked a little bit about it because a listener wrote in. I don't think we had planned to, unless, if they hadn't written in, we wouldn't have said anything. But I think it's worthy. The Oscars were really bad, Eric. I don't mean like the winners. And I'm not saying I had a dog in the race, which I didn't. But is it dog in the race or dog in the fight, or horse in the race and the dog in the? Because there are dog races too, but there are dog fights. But those are bad. I don't want a dog in a fight ever. What's the phrase, Eric?
I didn't have a. Yeah, I thought it was. But now you've confused me. I didn't have a horse in this race.
Whatever. Not my pig, not my farm. To use another idiom, I didn't really care what won what. Nomadland was fine. Everyone in that movie had big dirty butts. Whatever. If that's what the Academy Award likes this year, that's fine.
I don't remember as much focus on the size and dirtiness of their butts, but you do.
It was all there. It was all presented to you. It just wasn't spoken. It was left unsaid, which was one of the genius moments of that movie. This is my chance, actually, Eric, to talk to you about an actor my mom knows. Because my mom and dad went to Yale Drama School with David Strathairn. So they knew him back then, and he was actually in production. They were all in productions together. It's all the theater world. Your mom's from the theater world too. So every time David Strathairn pops up on the screen, I get to hear from my mom, I know him. So I get the Carol Goldman treatment from
just
the other
not
side.
As loud, I'm guessing.
No, she's no, but it's still the same. With my mom, though, it's more like, did I ever tell you I knew him for the 50th time? Because she doesn't remember.
Sure.
So anyway, the Oscars sucked. Just the ceremony in general sucked, which is weird because it started really cool. Regina King walking out sort of Ocean's heist style with the Soderbergh tracking cam as she walked to the stage. She was a great introductory host. I liked her style. And then it all just weirdly disintegrated in front of our eyes. I never realized how the importance of clips of those movies are. but without clips of movies. And so not only were there no breakaway presenters all night talking about each of the Best Picture nominees, because that's been a tradition of the Oscars for a long time, where it's like they'll talk about each of the pictures nominated.
We'll get a spotlight.
Yeah, and you'll see a little montage mini trailer of the movie. They'll describe it, they'll give you a summary of it, who directed it, who stars in it. They didn't do that this year, but not only that, but they didn't show you clips of hardly anything. I'm trying to think of the categories that actually got movie clips: Best Animated Feature, Best Picture.
And it was the movies themselves when they were the nominees.
Yeah, but none of the actors got a standout little performance clip. Yeah, none of the costumers got like shots of the costumes. None of the production designers got shots of the sets. None of the Best Score nominees got those little snippets of the score with like the shot of the person conducting and written notes on the page. Mm-hmm. And the Best Song nominees, all the performances were actually on the kickoff show. I'm sorry, I have WWE on the brain. The pre-show, I don't know what you call it. You could see the full songs an hour ahead of time, and then they just show you like little clips. So my mom was kind of like, when can't remember her name, won Best Supporting Actress for Minari, she's like, "What is this movie?" And she'd never heard of it, and this is a chance for the Oscars to introduce people to these movies that they might want to see very briefly. It would have given her an idea of what the movie is, or even showing a clip of the actress in the scene.
Mm-hmm. I will say I was not as negative as you were, but I also don't want to be like, I loved it. I liked some of what they were trying as a different thing. Like, it wasn't against like, like the contextualizing and personalizing of the nominees, but you need the balance. And if you're going to talk about the cinematographers and the makeup people, you have a way to overlay imagery of their work as well. And so it did become sort of more egregious as the night went on that, you weren't seeing stuff. Again, I don't think it quite bothered me as much as entirely, but I do think you needed a balance. You needed something there. You needed to see some context. And it's almost like they decided, it's like this strange thing. I said some people tweet similar thoughts. It's like, everyone knew this was going to be a low-rated Oscars. All the award shows have been way down this year with pandemic. The Oscars especially were going to get hit hard because this year, they opened it up to 10 movies a few years ago with the whole idea being more mainstream movies can get in there. And sometimes they have, like Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture. But this year, almost none of those big movies came out because of the pandemic. You were only left with the small little art house films, except they didn't play in art houses.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait till next year for Spiral from the Book of Saw to be nominated for Best Picture.
And they overlooked Bad Boys for Life, and they overlooked Sonic. We
snark, but those are actually both really good movies.
I enjoyed them.
Those are great movies. Yeah.
But it's just, it was a strange thing where they almost seemed to be like, hey, this is going to be a small audience for this year's Oscars. Not a lot of people have seen this movie, so they almost were like, screw it. We're just going all in and make it. I think part of the idea was like, let's personalize it. Let's make it more like you are at a private party. And I admired part of that idea. But again, they did it to a fault. And so
Eric, I don't care if the third set dresser on The Father likes popcorn. I don't want to know fun facts about these people. And I'm sorry, if you sign on for these positions, you're going to get seated in the back and nobody's going to care except your family. I'm just saying, like, broader audiences care about the actors, maybe the directors, maybe the score, but really the actors in Best Picture. Yeah. And everyone else, I'm sorry, that's kind of your lot in life. You get to work in glitzy Hollywood productions, but no one really. And so the idea, I almost thought it was a little insulting though. It's kind of like, I felt like it was a quasi stars are just like us moment. It's like all these people you think are the Hollywood elite, they like the Goonies too. I'm like, it came off really bad.
I guess I did. It didn't cross that line for me of coming off bad. I just thought it just seemed to not, it went out of its way to not contextualize to a frustrating extent. I think nothing underlines that more than all the things you were saying, but also the in memoriam, which as everyone mentioned was so quick, like the actual names flew by. And usually when they showed the name of the person, they might show like the movie they're most identified with. And so you get, or if it's a makeup person, but it shows like, that they worked on, some great horror movie. But here, no context. It was like, you better know these names. So it did kind of double down on the, like, we are giving you.
And by the way, no fun
facts.
No fun facts about the dead, Eric. Like, we don't get to learn that Fred Willard loved birds. Fun facts are only for the living, I guess.
I didn't need a fun fact, but in that case, it would just been like, what do I know this person from? So yeah, it was very strange. So like, let's lean so heavily into zero context. And then of course, to end it with this incredible faux pas, the bizarreness of them doing Best Actor and Best Actress after Best Picture. I first realized they were something off about the order when they did Best Director like an hour in, because usually Best Director is second to last, right? Before Picture.
Yeah. And so it came out, afterwards, and we all sort of guessed mostly correctly that they were hedging their bets, that it would be a posthumous win for Chadwick Boseman, and it would end the note on a more emotional, sentimental note. And the bet didn't pay off, and Anthony Hopkins won. I'm not saying anyone was more deserving than the other, but then it also came out that he wanted to accept, if possible, via Zoom, and the producers wouldn't let him.
Right.
So that wasn't even possible for him to be. So everyone's like, oh, he wasn't there, and he wasn't, via video call or anything like that. So it just ended super flatly, and like Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance.
I mean, we should say, like, no one is out and out admitted, oh, yeah, we switched it up hoping Chadwick Boseman would win at the end. I think it's a safe assumption, that's like they were just like, oh, we switched it out to do something different. But it's like, yeah, the way, you had to be like, has everyone said one thing we know for sure now, they didn't know who was going to win.
Because obvious,
a lot of us were like, oh man, it's like they're spoiling who's going to win. But it's like, no, they were making a big bet on who was going to win, and they were wrong. And then, quote unquote, the worst person to win, not because he's not an amazing actor, because he's the person not there who they have not given the ability to make a speech. Anthony Hopkins wins. And so, yeah, it was just this bizarre way to end a bizarre Oscars. So yeah, it was this is a very big year of like, oddness, and Oscars are so funny because again, it was 14 months since the last Oscars. These happened later than normal, so it's like Parasite. Not only Parasite win last year, it won in front of a big crowd because it was a month before everything went to hell. So it's like, this is another, like, this Oscars gets to stand out as like the bizarre, strange time of, I mean, I, as a big Soderbergh fan, it's like, I admire what he was trying to do. And again, I don't think I was as negative as you were, Matt, but I also just don't think it worked. And I think that they needed to take a step back and be like, maybe we need to give some more context to what we're doing here, instead of like leading to like having a lot of people like your mom, I'm sure, who are like, I don't know anything about, like, you're not showing me a clip to make me go, ooh, this looks great, or what a scene, or what like, even in those 10 seconds or 20, 30 seconds, I can see this is an interesting performance. Instead, it's just like, we're just giving you names, we're just giving you names.
Yeah, she also wanted to know, because it was, I think, the first win of the night. Was it? Yes. Like what Judas and Black Messiah was like, and no one would tell her. No one would tell her on screen. Who that means I had to tell her, and I don't appreciate that.
I think that's why you're so mad, because you had to give your mom so much.
It made me work. I also think I think it actually all went downhill when it cut to Bryan Cranston, who we both love.
Yeah.
Talking about the MPTF, that was so long. I'm sorry, they do great work, but that was as boring as shit. So,
and also that it's like they kept kind of undercutting themselves, because by cutting to that live, it's like, why couldn't you have cut to musical performances other places live? Which I think is what the Grammys did. I didn't watch them, but I heard it's like, why couldn't you have had like a live musical performance?
Yeah, I heard the Grammys were amazing, and did pandemic award shows the right way. So.
Yeah, so by cutting to the Dolby at that one moment. It's like, but then for something that went on too long, it just was like, guys, you're kind of proving that you could have done something else, throughout the show. You could have enlivened this in different ways. instead of all being like these people talking without showing the work. Show your work.
It was the dullest bullshit in the entire universe. I'm reading here that Eric has kiboshed. He's put the nix on me talking about Gina Gershon being cast in Borderlands, along with a lot of other people.
Your weekly border cast.
Yeah, my side quest here about Borderlands casting, but it's bound related. We're talking about Jennifer Tilly in the main event, Eric, and Gina Gershon was just cast in a big role as Moxie in Borderlands. Okay. Also, you introduced this one. I couldn't even remember what it's called, so I wrote down Netflix Anti-Decider, only because this was supposed to be Netflix's answer to what they have deemed to be decision fatigue, which is, another weird like pandemic malady. Apparently, like when you can't decide, it used to be where do we go eat, but since we can't eat, it's what do we watch? And people are, I don't know, killing each other over it. No, they're not. I just made that up. So they've basically Netflix, the revolutionaries that they are, have invented television.
Right.
They've invented television, Eric.
Yes. So they're going to do something. They're going to introduce a new feature called Play Something. And you have to choose that this is something you want to happen for you. It won't just automatically be something that happens for everyone who has Netflix. But the Play Something thing is that when you turn on Netflix, something will be playing. It's not just a clever name. It'll be using its magic algorithm powers to pick something it thinks you would be interested in, but it will just automatically start playing that. And so you can just be like, oh, okay, here's this movie or TV show it thinks I'll like. I'll start watching it. Now there's a skip button if you don't like that, and it'll skip to something else. It's almost like roulette, but based on the algorithm and what they think you're going to like.
So this is basically they've invented HBO, but they've added Project Insight.
Right. Because the main thing is they said, it's like, it's basically trying to come up with the thing that has become a existential crisis in this era of peak TV, which is there's too many choices. And especially if you're Netflix, who adds so many things a week, like how everyone makes this joke, but what did you do last night? I scrolled Netflix. I didn't watch anything on Netflix. Yeah. I just like click through.
Yeah. I read summaries. I watched trailers.
Right.
So as you pointed out in a text to me, those who had WWE Network, because WWE Network on Peacock does not do this, but WWE Network used to, and Shudder does this, where they have a daily schedule of what's
they have a
playing.
lineup.
They have a live cast that's playing along, and for WWE, when the pay-per-views happen, it would just slot itself into that live feed.
Yes.
And you would just wait for it. You could be watching whatever show was on before WrestleMania, and then it would go into WrestleMania. How much of a weird cheat is this for them just getting like those weird minutes that they can tout? You know what I mean? Like Netflix is like, this is watch like 628 million minutes were watched of the irregulars or something like that. We don't know which episodes, if any of these people finished any of the episodes or finished the season. We just know minutes watched. And now they have a way of just basically absorbing your minutes. You don't have to be in the room if you choose to play something on. It just plays.
Right. Because that's the thing is usually when they tout how many people watched a show, all they're promising by that is that they watched the first 2 minutes of one episode. And so it's utterly meaningless. Like their stats when they're like 100 million people watched this show. It just means that those people literally had it playing the first 2 minutes, and then we don't know what happened. We don't even know if they chose those first 2 minutes or it auto-played after something. So that's a great point, Matt, that this will probably be used to fudge their numbers even more. At the same time, it's a funny thing to see where the whole idea with Netflix is like, look at how much we're giving you to choose from, that they're also just like, okay, for people who are having a problem choosing, we'll choose for you. And they say there's an algorithm involved, but how much are they going to be pushing a certain just what they want you
they
to watch
want
it.
Minutes for? You know what I mean?
Right. How much will it push their original productions versus acquired stuff? Because they always try to downplay that. Even though it's constantly pointed out how much of their ongoing success still is based off of acquisitions. And of course, The Office and Friends, when they had it, were both two shows that gave them so much viewership because people would watch hundreds of hours of this, sometimes over and over, and they lost those, but they still have stuff like, dozens, what season is Grey's Anatomy on? It's like 617 or something. And there's some of these shows they have that are very successful for them, provided by the networks, still giving them 22 episodes a year that just give them like things that people just lay there watching. But they don't like to tout that. So yeah, maybe they'll just push some of their own original productions more to kind of get those numbers up.
We've got 4 more Chucky movies to go after this week's episode. So we're not going to, I don't know if we can discuss this off air too. Like if we want to do a breakout Spiral from the Book of Saw episode in a few weeks, since we did the Saw franchise, or do we want to just make that the movie right after Chucky? But I feel like we should, of course, do a Spiral main event.
Yes, we'll do
for
it
sure. Maybe wait a few weeks so that people can see it. That's an obvious thing,
especially since it's theatrical only. You're hearing us the inside scoop here, guys. Maybe we'll just wait till we end the Child's Play series.
But that brings us to our next bit of news, which is it seemed like from the last trailer that dropped for Spiral that there was in fact a Spiral theme song.
Yes.
And it has been officially announced that there is a Spiral theme song from rapper 21 Savage. But not only is it a Spiral theme song, it is a remix and remaking of the Hello Zepp orchestral piece that has become the hallmark of Saw. The revelation, the twist upon twist upon twist, third act reveal.
The montage of things you saw before with a different context to them.
Yeah, the music that plays has now been remixed as a Spiral theme song. I don't know. Did it give a name for it? I don't know what it's called. Is it called Hello Zepp?
I think it's called Spiral. Because we actually, I don't know if you remember that I tweeted at you. It was actually it was the very last screen of the first trailer, but I had to pause it to be like soundtrack featuring so and so, including Spiral. I believe the song is just called Spiral, but
and is it gonna be like the Deep Blue Sea song from LL Cool J where they tell you what happened in the movie and stuff like that? We can only hope. We can only hope. Like literally, maybe if you're confused coming out of it, you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh, now I get it.
You see, in Act 2, here's what was happening. Chris Rock's partner was really an apprentice. So was his dad.
21 Savage is really an apprentice.
You're an apprentice.
Everyone's an apprentice. Look under your chair. There's an apprentice. Okay. Few messages here from some writers in. Mike Transylvania Salt Mine has written to our Gmail. Basically, actually, to talk to us, to answer a question about Child's Play 3 that we were talking about, what the process was from foster care to military academy. And Mike knows this. He said, I just wanted to comment on Andy's fate in foster care real quick. My wife and I were foster parents, and we had a teen placed with us that their caseworker was all too eager to send to a boarding school across state. Our foster child was terrified by the idea, and we couldn't fathom why the caseworker would push this option. It was our choice, so we shot it down. So it's absolutely plausible that a foster child in the system seen as a problem can get placed into a military boarding school, and it's pretty gross to say the least. On a personal note, I was a lonely child and I had a my buddy. My dad used to call him Chucky. I didn't know why. I can't remember if I saw an ad or a poster, but all I know is one day I suddenly didn't want to play with him anymore. Knee lift. Mike. Okay. So there's a little bit of anti-joy about our foster care system.
But confirmation that Child's Play 3 knew what it was talking about, I guess.
It was. It's more detailed than we even realize, always.
Oh, by the way, and I have a big update on who my mom knows, because I mentioned she knows director Jack Bender of Child's Play 3. I forgot to mention that she knew Andrew Robinson of Hellraiser and Dirty Harry fame, who was the crazy... way too into his job.
Uncle Frank. Yeah.
But she also knew, in a twist I didn't know she knew, it turns out she knows Dakin Matthews, Colonel Cochran, one of the two characters that Dan Mancini thought was miscast because he wanted more of a hard-ass Arlie Emery type. And not only did I find out over breakfast with my mom, our first post, we've both been vaccinated breakfast the other day, that she knew him. Then we drove by a theater in North Hollywood. She goes, "Oh, that's his theater." So it was a strange Colonel Cochran adventure for you.
like a stage production theater.
Small little theater, because North Hollywood, there's a lot.
Does he just do dramatizations of Child's Play 3?
Yes, he does. Here's how I would have written it, and his character doesn't have a heart attack,
but he's the hero, and he kills Chucky at the end.
Right? Yes.
And they're all like, "All hail Commandant Lazar."
It's the Matthews cut.
Okay. So let's see. Who's this from? Michael, I think. Another Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have like 5 Michaels who write in all the time.
It's a common name.
Okay. I've been listening since the start of We Enjoy Wrestling, and it was a reader of the wrap-up where my name was ruined by Matt pointing out how JBL pronounced Michael as Maggle, which was pointed out by a friend and caused other friends to call me Maggle. I had planned on writing.
Hey, Matt, you ruined everything.
I am the ruiner. That's why Trent Reznor wrote a song about me. I had planned on writing when Ravenous was one of the good things to enjoy because I've tried to get friends to watch it ever since I first watched it. It is one of 3 movies I found out about through commercials during wrestling programs. I found about Ravenous, Fist of the North Star, the live action one, and the other movie was The Tripper. Do you remember The Tripper, Eric, directed by David Arquette? It was like a Reagan era slasher movie. I
really think it's amazing that he remembers movies he learned about via a commercial during wrestling.
During WCW Thunder, yeah. I found the Chucky series a lot easier to keep up with as opposed to watching the RoboCop mess. This week's movie was the first of the series to come out. While I was aware enough to pay attention, I remember coming to school and telling my friends about a new Chucky movie coming out and them not believing me. It came out when I was in 5th grade, I think, and I liked it so much because I disliked the previous movie when I was younger. I'm hesitant to rewatch Seed next week, but I'm not going in blind like I was the first time, so I don't think I'll have such a strong reaction as I did the first time. Anyway, Neelift and Shakma. I am Bob_Michael on Twitter. Okay, so...
And we must have mentioned, by the way, it just is funny that our 2 franchises in a row both feature a central character who appeared on WCW. Yep. I don't know if there are any other choices.
No WWE for us. Just
like, oh, you forgot that Freddy Krueger was on an episode of Nitro.
But to Chucky's credit, he appeared, and we talked to Liv Morgan about this a little bit. He appeared in the height of the Monday Night Wars. Yeah. He was in White Hot even WCW during the Attitude Era, and so he, RoboCop
but he didn't join NWO.
RoboCop was 1990 WCW, which I thought was great, but it wasn't, breaking any ratings records. Right. Okay, Joey writes in on Patreon real quick, and then we'll get to good things to enjoy. When I went to see Bride of Chucky, the kid in the audience, there was a kid in the audience who kept saying to his friend, "Chucky's gonna fuck." At first, we were a little disturbed.
Wait a second. Is this for real?
I don't think it's for real. Okay. At first, we were a little disturbed because surely it wasn't that kind of film. He must have said it 15 times. And when the sex scene happened, we all stood up and cheered for him with tears in our eyes. We carried him out on our shoulders, and I still don't know how that movie ends. Okay. So that's Joey on Patreon.
I will say that the actual tagline, which I don't think we talked about, is Chucky gets lucky. So there was a good chance that it is.
Yeah, the kid knew what he was talking about. Like he's like, I was promised a thing, I expect the thing. Okay. Good thing to enjoy this week. This is a weird movie that I could talk about a lot. It's not a weird movie. It is actually a big cult 80s movie. And I need to make sure I don't ramble on about this because I want to keep it a little tight. Okay. My pick this week is one of my favorite 80s movies that I can rewatch over and over again. If I ask you, Eric, what your favorite Chevy Chase movie was, I'm pretty sure you'd say Vacation. Yes. Mine is Fletch. I love Fletch. I saw it when I was a kid. I really liked it. I've watched it countless times over the years. It's endlessly quotable. I realize that I am recommending a film with a complete and utter asshole of a leading man. Chevy Chase is not a great person. I can't help that. He's the only Saturday Night Live alumni to be banned from the show permanently.
But so many people have done such worse things. Chevy Chase is just an asshole compared to people who have done far worse things who've done great movies. So I think you're okay.
I mean, like a couple months ago, I recommended Hardware, which I love, and we just found out the director is an accused domestic abuser. So that's worse, I think. I don't know. I don't want to quantify these things that much, but Fletch is such an interesting project. I think it's a great, funny movie. I love the music by Howard Faltermeyer. If you recognize that name, it's because he did the very famous Axel F synthesizer music for Beverly Hills Cop. I believe his Fletch score is even better than Beverly Hills Cop. It's such an earworm. I love it so much. He even wrote a song that is sung by an R&B singer in the let's see, what's her name? Stephanie Mills. Stephanie Mills.
Okay.
No, but my whole point is that we were talking about Spiral having a theme song. Fletch has a theme song. So Stephanie Mills sings the song bit by bit, theme from Fletch. And then there's another song called Fletch Get Out of Town. Like there are literal songs in this movie that are kind of about the plot of the movie. So that's how Spiral ties into this one. Chevy Chase plays an investigative reporter who basically is tracking two different sort of stories. You find out they're connected at the end. It's really funny. But the more interesting thing about Fletch is that it's from a very popular series of books from the 70s by an author named Gregory MacDonald. Now, these books aren't pure comedy. They're tongue-in-cheek. Fletch is a little bit of a smartass, but they're played more like actual crime novels. Mm-hmm. And when they retooled it for Chevy Chase, obviously they made it funnier, and they added the disguises, the dream of him being a Laker, like so that like the gimmick for the film is that he is a master of goofy caricatures and disguises, which is not a part of the Fletch book series at all. Even though the first movie, the story is the actual crime story is pretty much, because I read the first Fletch book, is taken from that book. So it's very faithful. Now, it was a hit movie. The sequel wasn't a hit. The sequel came out 4 years later too. So it wasn't like Striking While the Iron was all that hot. But the sequel, Fletch Lives, isn't that great. And it's also not based on a book from the series. It was just written as is for the screen. So Fletch, I love the movie. I always quote it to people who don't care. That's fine. But during, I think Kevin Smith's like some of the height of his popularity, he was trying to actually reboot Fletch with either Ben Affleck or Jason Lee, because he was a big fan of the book series as well. So he's somebody who's been trying to get Fletch off the ground. That fell through. But now, as of last summer, Fletch is on his way back with John Hamm as Fletch, with Greg Mottola set to direct. So Fletch is something that people, I think, still see as because there are other books too. And there are other ways to tackle Fletch. Chevy Chase was a very specific, tailored to Chevy Chase Fletch. So much so that Gregory MacDonald, the author of the books, when he got the actual script, hated it. He was like, "Whoa, this is way not what Fletch is supposed to be." But obviously, Chevy Chase is Fletch for everyone. I don't know. I don't know where you stand on Fletch. I don't know if it's something that I think Fletch is hit or miss for a lot of people.
I never was into Fletch. I watched it on cable, but it didn't really resonate with me. And in the 80s, I was definitely, a Chevy Chase fan. Vacation is one of my all-time favorite movies. Just top 10 movies is the first Vacation. I like a lot of the sequels. And I loved Three Amigos and Spies Like Us. Fletch just didn't, and I didn't see Fletch in the theater. I saw all those other ones I saw in the theater. I saw it on cable. It didn't really, I saw Fletch Lives in the theater. So yeah, Fletch was okay to me. I never really loved it, but it's a movie I wanted to revisit because you were not alone, certainly, Matt. Like there's a big cult around that movie, and a lot of people name it as one of, if not the best movie Chase did. So yeah, it's one of those ones I feel like I should watch again at some point, but it's been 30 years or so.
I know. It's I think it plays to Chevy Chase's very meager strengths, which he has strengths, but they're very specific. He does a great job of being a befuddled dad, but this is him being a smartass, and it works really well. And other people that were considered for the role were like Jeff Bridges and Charles Grodin and Richard Dreyfuss, people were hot in the late 70s and early 80s and stuff, and Burt Reynolds. So when they chose Chase, who was also hot right then, but it had to be a full-blown comedy at that point. And it wasn't, it's an action comedy in the vein of Beverly Hills Cop. If we're talking about Saturday Night Live alums, making it big on the big screen in the 80s. So that's my pick. I don't know where you can watch it.
You can watch it. You can't stream it anywhere, but you can rent or buy it everywhere. That you can rent or buy movies digitally.
Yeah, and it's got Tim Matheson and Joe Don Baker and Emmett Walsh, a bunch of people in it. Okay. Pre-Cheers, George Wendt. It's from 1985. Okay.
He would have already been on Cheers at that point.
When did Cheers
he was also like 82 or 83.
Wow.
So 85, he was also doing House, George Wendt. Big year for Wendt. My recommendation.
Wasn't Ratzenberger in House 2?
He was.
Oh, wow. They got both Cliff and Norm in both of those.
They did. They were all over that series. They didn't get Real Perlman for 3 or 4, unfortunately. My thing to enjoy this week is
Fletch Lives.
It's Fletch Lives. The one that got it right. Is 1988, a movie that opened near Fletch Lives, I guess a year before. 1988's Lady in White. Which is a spooky ghost story, but aimed at families, a family-friendly ghost story. I don't want to call it horror. Sounds too. It's not just because there's horror for kids, but this isn't quite horror. It's a spooky story, starring Lucas Haas. Has a young boy. It's a period piece set in 1962, and it's definitely using the Stand By Me, Wonder Years thing, which was very popular in the late 80s, of someone in the present telling their story, looking back with wisdom at their time in the 50s or 60s. And in this case, it's this kid who in 1962, he's locked by a couple of lousy bullies in his school's coat room overnight. And he sees a ghost. He sees a ghost that is reenacting her own murder. A little girl, a girl his age. He's like junior high age, or maybe like 6th or 7th grade age.
He was actually our age. So whenever we saw this movie, he was our age in 1988. So it would have been, middle school age. Yeah.
And so he watches this in a very effective, creepy sequence. He watches this girl who's around his age, maybe a little younger, get killed in front of him, but it's her ghost. It's clearly a ghost, and we don't see the killer. We just see her reenacting the night she got murdered in this school years before. It's a period piece within a period piece because she is from the distant past to him, much as he is the past to us. And then it becomes a trying to help this spirit of this girl who, as often is the case, needs to be set free, while also being a murder mystery because who killed her, why, what exactly happened. And it's a really a cool, sort of evocative, effective movie. And I really loved it. And I think you did too, Matt. I remember when we saw this in junior high.
I did. I have a story about it that's not too complimentary, but keep going.
And I revisited it a couple years ago when our friends who don't sponsor us, but at Shout Factory and Scream Factory, put out a Blu-ray. I got it and I watched it. And I watched it with Trish, who'd never seen it. And I was a little nervous. It was definitely one of those movies where I'm like, this might not hold up at all. Because even as a kid, there's some cheesy stuff in it, right? Like even as a kid, I knew there's a couple things that don't quite land, both special effects wise, or maybe like there's some sentimental moments that hit a little too hard on the head, what they're trying to do. But I remember even as a kid thinking, well, most of this movie works. Even as a kid, I was not one of those people who say, how could you like a movie when this one thing is bad?
Well, I just remember the very controversial split you and fellow critic Rafael Del Castillo had at our middle school newspaper when you gave a thumbs down to Without a Clue, and he gave a thumbs
that
up.
Movie had a lot of flaws. So,
I'm just saying that not a lot of middle school kids would point out the flaws of a slapstick Sherlock Holmes comedy starring Michael Caine.
But I was there to tear it apart. But Lady in White, I loved it as a kid, even though I thought there was a couple things that didn't quite work. But revisiting it as an adult, I was very happy to see. I still really thought it was great. And she did. Trish had never seen it, and she really liked it too, because I think it gets a lot right as far as like, you know, the mood of it, the feel, the period piece of it, the spookiness. Again, the thing that really struck me as a kid was like, the sequence that's the setup of the movie of him watching her reenact the murder in front of him is really cool and is perfectly plays I guess I'm like, if you have a kid, show it this kid and you want to introduce them to spooky stuff. This is a good starter course.
I totally agree that it's a great starter spooky ghost story for like kids. You know, if you got a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, this is a good movie. My story about it is actually for me, how it didn't hold up, but this was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So maybe
you've come back around on the loop.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I was in film school, so this is mid-90s. So it could have been that it could have been like we were looking for things to rent, and I was like, oh, this is scary. This is a cool movie. So we rented it. And afterwards I sort of had to apologize to everyone because it didn't hold up the way that I was selling it. Cause I was looking at it through my kid memories. Right.
No. And I can completely see why, if you were to show this to a bunch of like film school dudes,
but that's
like
that's what I mean. It wasn't all dudes. There were chicks there too, but I'm saying like we were all like Tarantino.
Dude is a way of life, Matt.
We were all like Gus Van Sant and David Lynch, like so. There's a chance that we were also just shittily snobby, but. Yeah, I don't know. It could have come back way around. This was like, I would say 1995 or 6. So that's at this point, as long ago as the movie takes place from when we saw it, Eric.
Right. Yes. And look, and the thing is, I think it's just one of those movies that's like a cool little movie. I don't want to oversell it. Because and even like the writer and director Frank LaLoggia was an actor, and he also wrote and directed a little, but it's not like he's some auteur. It's not, he didn't really make other notable movies. He did some TV movies and stuff. This is just a cool movie that I think is a cool sort of creepy movie aimed at a younger audience. But when I rewatching it many years later, I did still admire it, even though there were things that
you should have watched it in the mid-90s.
I missed out on the mid-90s.
We're like natural born killers.
But now we're at the point, Matt, where not only do I have my Scream Factory Blu-ray, but I've got my Fright Rags t-shirt for this movie that came out a couple years ago, because everything becomes cultized, and so the Lady in White cult rise up. So Lady in White, if you want to check it out, is streaming on Cinemax and DirecTV, and you can rent it on Vudu and Redbox and AMC. I think the AMC theaters where you can rent movies. And
alrighty, Roo. Let's get to Liv Morgan, and next week's main event is Seed of Chucky. Eric, where is that? Netflix?
It's the last one, I believe, that's on Netflix. Okay. This run is on Netflix, and then we have to move to other places, I think, after that.
We gotta
make it more complicated.
Down. Okay. So without further ado, the return of WWE's Liv Morgan. Is she our Joe Pesci? Or, I mean, that's making us way cooler than we are, because she's cooler than we are. So to say that we're Riggs and Murtaugh, she's Joe Pesci. Is she our Gracie Law? No, that's still making us like Jack Burton and Wang from... Okay, we haven't figured out.
We'll figure it out.
But so far, she's the only guest we've had. More guests to come someday who aren't Liv Morgan, but until then...
But we're in the middle of a series she really happens to dig. So.
Yeah. So we are... completely tickled and overjoyed to have Liv Morgan back with us to talk about Bride of Chucky. Enjoy.
And we are back, and we are continuing our journey through the Child's Play series, although this is where it makes its big change to the Of Chucky movies. So the fourth film here, Bride of Chucky, it's a big movie for the series, and we felt like we had to get back our friend of the podcast and fellow Chucky fanatic, Liv Morgan. Thank you so much for returning.
I think Bride of Chucky is the best one of the series.
I agree with you.
Just saying.
It's my
so I had to come back and talk about it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I share that passion. This is my favorite as well.
I was good.
Really, really into this movie.
I could never get tired of it. I can watch it over and over and over and over and over and over again, and I still think it's great.
I was watching it last night, and then you hear that Rob Zombie music come on.
Yes, everything about it.
Yes, and you're in. How's it going for you?
Cry.
It's an emotional movie.
I could cry. I love it so much.
How is it going for you? It's nice to see you again.
Great. I just thought I was going to be late because I had to bring my chickens inside. I saw a hawk.
Oh yeah, you got to protect them from that hawk.
Oh my gosh!
So I had to wrangle them, and my phone was in the house, so I was nervous. Look at the time, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Because when I left to go check the chickens, it was like 6:50. It was 5:50. So I was like, "Ah!"
I'm always so afraid to let my cat out because there are hawks around where I live too. Ooh. And I have such a small grown cat that I'm always worried about it. Because just recently, I don't know if I told you, Eric. Eric and I have known each other a long time, so we know each other's parents. But my father's little dog got carried off by a coyote
Oh no!
Oh my
like
gosh.
2 weeks ago. So it made me even more paranoid about the hawks that circle my house.
Gosh,
So,
I'm so paranoid. I had a hawk accident like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe even. It devastated me. It was my first farm loss, and it devastated me. It was like the worst feeling ever. And so now I'm super paranoid and I'm super on edge, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to keep my chickens safe because I will not have another hawk accident.
Very understandable, and trust me, if you've been running a little late and you said you were saving the chickens, we would completely back that. That is a very commendable reason.
Yeah, they're all safe. They're all inside.
Liv, starting things off, I just want to ask you a WrestleMania question. Last time we spoke to you, you were still on the road to WrestleMania. It was just days before the event. And now that event is in the history books, what was it like, not just wrestling in front of a WrestleMania crowd, but a crowd in general?
It also, like, I could cry. I did cry literally when we all went out to the crowd for that first segment where BB Rexa sang. It was the first time feeling or seeing anything like that in over a year. And like, I think I stressed last time, like what we do is for the fans, is for the reaction, is for that energy. And so we haven't had it. And so just to even be out there in that moment, it just reinvigorated and relit like every single fire I think everyone had. It was just such an amazing feeling. I looked around and like there were other people like, wiping their eyes, trying to wipe their tears so they didn't get caught crying on camera, It was just amazing. It was so amazing. And I was so grateful. And then when we got to go out during the match, there's just nothing like wrestling in front of people. It just felt so good. It felt so good. And obviously, Ruby and I, we didn't win, but we were in that match longer than any other tag team.
Yes.
We eliminated more teams than any other tag team. So I think it was still a very successful night.
Yeah, you had a very strong showing. Eric and I were strongly rooting for the Riot Squad in that one.
Yes, we were.
I would be very shocked and a little let down if next year at WrestleMania it wasn't you and Natalia in some sort of rubber match, given like last year's WrestleMania too. You guys seem to have this WrestleMania feud brewing like every
Maddie
year.
and I are destined to have a 20 minutes WrestleMania match that is going to blow everyone's mind.
Fully endorsed that.
We are, I train at Natty's weekly and we have just amazing chemistry, and Natty's such a great teacher, and I'm so grateful to be able to have ring time when, we're only doing 2 shows a week and I'm only on one of them. Well, 3 shows a week, but yeah, Natty and I are going to have, I'm just calling it now, we're going to have like the greatest women's WrestleMania match ever.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm there for it, I should say, in the future.
Yes. And in person, we were just talking about before you got on that next year we'll be back at WrestleMania ourselves, and we're very excited for that.
Oh, yay. I love WrestleMania. I'm so excited. I can't wait to have fans just every week again. It was such a tease. I was like, how do we go back to the screen?
That's right. That's
so
true.
grateful for the screens. It's better than, the nothing. But
it's a preview.
Yeah, it's like, how do we go back? Love the fans.
Well, yeah, that was a great experience. We were saying just even watching it from home, we were super emotional and wishing we were there.
And it was raining.
And it was raining.
How slippery was that ramp?
It was getting like, it was like, wow, are we going to have to postpone, Yeah. But never. The heavens cleared it up and we were good to go.
I said, as much as it, sucked that you guys had to have that delay at the start, better to have the one delay than it happening throughout the night.
Happening in the middle of the show,
though,
yeah.
I appreciated the delay. I was so nervous. I was like, yeah, more time. I was like, give me more time to get my shit together. I was so nervous.
Gets you in the mindset. All right, so we're gonna talk Bride of Chucky here, which we adore. 1998. So there was a 7-year gap here between these movies when they got the next one, and definitely they changed things up in a pretty dramatic way right from the start. And of course, we should mention that this opened after Scream, and I think you can feel the influence there. So you're a big Scream fan as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I love Scream too. I never thought of it. And so when you said it, I literally had like thinking face on. I was like, wow, he's right.
Well, it's like you had that shift where I think a lot of the studios were like, okay, because Scream was so great and such a huge hit. So I think the fact that they were like, let's be funnier and let's get a little meta and like kind of acknowledge ourselves,
Fantastic. Yeah, they got a little smart.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I think it works so well with Chucky is that Chucky is an absurd premise to begin with that even, so-called serious horror fans would scoff at, like even back during just the plain Child's Play movies. And so once they realized that you could, like Eric said, turn up the humor, because Chucky's always been funny. He's always had quips and clever, funny things to say, but they really dialed it up here and then add that meta tone to it where they're referencing real life people like Martha Stewart or real life serial killers and different movies and stuff that exist in the real world, just like Scream did. I think that formula's like just gelled so well for Child's Play, like
it's a little bite into pop culture.
Yeah, totally. Although I will have to say, they were bringing up killer duo, so Bonnie and Clyde and Mickey and Mallory. So Mickey and Mallory Knox from Natural Born Killers. One is a real life, couple that was turned into a movie, and the other are fictitious. But in this world, I like to believe Mickey and Mallory Knox were actually real. So that's my own headcanon.
Maybe. But like you said, it's like this movie opens and we've got like, got the Freddy mask and the Jason, the Freddy gloves and the Jason.
Love it. You go through, oh my gosh. All the evidence of all horror movies, of all iconic things. I love that.
I love that too. And I was surprised. It was interesting to find out that Don Mancini, again, returning to write this fourth movie in a row. That was an idea he had for the beginning of the second movie, because there was going to be a trial at the beginning of the second movie and they were going to have Chucky and Evans and there was going to be these nods to other horror movies. But it felt like this was the right time to do it, right? It's like now the series can kind of have some fun with itself. You can't get Chucky was scary in the first movie, but you can't really get that back. So why not just lean into it?
There was so much breathing time. So just see them acknowledge other scary movies in the first scene. Kind of, it was just like, wow, this is cool.
And again, with Scream actually referencing those horror movies, because Scream exists in the world where those horror movies exist. Right. Mm-hmm. That just opened the door that you can have Michael Myers mask and all this fun, like the weaponry and the memorabilia from the other horror movies. This movie too looks really sharp. Like the director is a Hong Kong film director, Ronnie Yu, who just brought a really awesome look to the series. Very like a blue tint. Everything looks really pristine and great. Awesome. And that mixed with some hard rock and metal music of the era, in particularly Rob Zombie and some White Zombie in there too. But it really transports you back. Like if you were of a certain age like me, like Static X and Powerman 5000. I remember seeing Monster Magnet and Rob Zombie out in Glen Helen Pavilion. Remember how, Eric, we've talked about how Rob Zombie didn't used to play in Los Angeles. He had a Los Angeles band, so you had to travel way outside of town to see Rob Zombie because he refused to play in LA. I would travel far and wide to see Rob Zombie. So like that, his music mixed with Chucky, even made it more modernized and cool. And it coincided with stuff like the Attitude Era of wrestling, which took wrestling and also blended it with pop culture. So everything was bringing pop culture in and saying like, we're not just in a bubble anymore. We are everything. We are sort of exposed to the world, and wrestling exists alongside South Park and these musicians and stuff like that.
Yeah, that Living Dead Girl, I became obsessed with that song because of this movie. What do you think of the opening credits, Liv? Because I'm way into them and just the song and her stitching him back together.
I thought it was perfect. I mean, I was so young when I watched it for the first time. I just had no idea what was happening. But I think it blends so. I don't want to say beautifully because it's like Chucky, but it was just such a great combo. It was such a great pairing of exactly what you said. Like it looks so sharp. Like the film just looked so good compared to like other Chuckies. Like it was like up to date, and we have up to date references, up to date songs for that time. Like it just felt like kind of like a reinvention of Chucky, which it actually ended up being because he totally got a makeover.
Yes, he did.
And Liv,
very
Liv,
cool makeover.
when did you see this film, Liv? And had you seen the other Child's Play movies before it, or did you sort of see this one with fresh eyes? And it still works, I think, honestly, because it's such a reinvention.
I think I watched Bride of Chucky first. That's something I'd never thought about. I think I watched Bride of Chucky first. And then as I watched that and got a little bit older, I fell into the other ones. I found the other ones. But I watched Bride of Chucky first. And obviously, I had no idea what I was watching.
Yeah, but again, because it was such a new start for Chucky, even though it's still connected to the old storylines, I think it totally works as something you could be introduced to Chucky in this movie. I think it totally.
Tiffany was badass.
She is. But
she's totally badass. And also with
Tiffany.
I have to very quickly side tangent into Chucky's appearance on WCW. And for those out there who want to see it, WWE actually on their YouTube channel has the Chucky clip of him appearing on WCW to promote Bride of Chucky. And he literally he stops a Mean Gene Okerlund Rick Steiner interview. He pops on the screen with his cackle, and it's Brad Dourif doing the voice, and he gets a huge pop, and he tells Mean Gene to shut the hell up, big pop, just the crowd goes wild, and the only time he gets booed is when he deviates and plugs the movie. So he's because he's running down Rick Steiner and Gene Okerlund, and then he's like, what I really want to tell you is to go see my movie Bride of Chucky, and everyone's like, boo.
But then you want to see him
when they were promoting it.
I
would have loved to had a human adult brain and lived through the promotion of Bride of Chucky. I think it's my favorite movie. I think I'd say that's my number one.
Yeah, I think though, I think you're right, Matt. That
of all movies,
not just horror movies. Wow, yeah.
No, I think of all. It's in my top 5 at least.
That's awesome. Yeah. This is the movie that, because I was always into the Chucky movies, but this movie got me way into the series, even more. And I think
the best kills.
It's really cool kills. It's really, in the movie, the fact that the characters are literally trying to one up each other becomes kind of a fun deal in the movie. And I think a lot of people went to see it as the first one because it had been a few years. And, you guys were both mentioning how great it looks. I mean, the cinematographer of this movie, Peter Powell, won an Oscar for Crouching Tiger 3 years later. So it's I think this movie looks better than almost any slasher movie, period, even outside the Child's Play movies. It just looks really gorgeous.
It just had an extra element. Oftentimes in movies and TV shows, there's always some kind of storyline where there's a love interest, Yeah. And we kind of missed that in all the other Chucky movies. And then this one gave it to you. And you might not even have known you wanted it. But then you got it and you loved it.
Yeah. And not only that, Liv, not only is there a romance and a love element to it, but the movie, and this is something I didn't know I needed until I saw the movie a long time ago, which is it gave someone else, it put another character there for Chucky to talk to.
Yeah.
He wasn't just talking at kids he was trying to possess or people he was trying to kill. He had someone, even if they would argue, he still had someone else to interact with, whether it was a love-hate relationship he would have with Tiffany. And that added so much to the movie.
It showed so much personality. Even though he always had personality, it's you're kind of just a fly on the wall hanging with him while he's trying to figure all this crazy nonsense out. It just was, you just felt like you had more in depth in him, because all the other scenes are him with, the kids, or him trying to kill. You never just kind of see him sitting really reflecting on his plans.
Totally. Or eating Swedish meatballs. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love this movie.
It's 100%. It makes him a fully fledged character in a way. The other movies, he's funny and he's clever. But here, it's he and Tiffany, when they're talking about I always wanted us to travel, and they start laughing at the absurdity of their situation. It's these are moments the other movies could never have touched, because no one was going to just sit and have a conversation with Chucky, who's not a little kid who's being manipulated. And so, it might have fallen flat, but it didn't. It's really fun. And they fully go for it, both Mancini writing it, but also Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly and their performances. You get so into these characters, whether they're dolls or not.
what I really enjoy about the beginning of the movie is that if you hadn't seen the trailer, if you just go into it blind, you don't know what this Jennifer Tilly character is doing.
Totally.
Like she's at first, it just seems like she's a creepy doll collector and is after some sort of killer doll memorabilia. It's not revealed until about 10 minutes into the movie that she is Charles Lee Ray's ex-girlfriend and supposed fiance, and that there's actually a history between her and Charles Lee Ray. Like, so I like the delay of that reveal as well. And some people might call it retconning Charles Lee Ray, but I don't really think so, because we didn't know anything about him except that he had a partner named Eddie. There's so much backstory to Charles Lee Ray. So the fact that he had a serious partner at one point, or at least she thought it was serious, that, you know, it's a surprise, but it's not out of left field.
No, anything they give us in this movie is like, why not? Because we didn't know anything about his day-to-day life. Oh, wait, I guess we knew he practiced voodoo, but now it turns out like he loves hard rock. He likes to smoke some weed. We're getting all sorts of info on him.
There's just so many little new things about Chucky that just, it makes him more relatable. And it's like, why do you like him? He's a murdering doll. It's like, why do I kind of like him now? Why do I think it's cool?
And cool new look. So the stitched up look,
cool new look.
Very like cool. just the stitched together with, you know, the scarred face and everything like that. Because in the first 3 movies, he starts as a new doll. He then gets remade. Both times he's brought back in the sequels, he's made into a new pristine form. And this is one where he looks really raggedy to the point where when people see him, they're like, "Ugh!" Like
every time. I like that every person who sees him, Chucky, is like, "Ugh!" Like is grossed out by what he looks like.
I love it. I think he looks more handsome. Really do. I really do. I'm like, that's my preferred look of his.
I think got mileage. Yeah, a lot of people are into, and you can even tell with the merch, they kind of split it now, and they do both versions. Because people are very into the stitched up Chucky. It's really cool looking as far as like just making him instantly like pop, you know, as far as what is the deal with and just the fact the stitching and the staples.
Such a cool scene watching her put him together, because you kind of don't even know she's putting him together yet until the final reveal, and you're just like,
Yeah. All these movies we were mentioning, Liv, when we did 2 and 3, how I really like how these 3 in a row all have cool rebuilding Chucky opening credits, like the factory in the second, the third where he's like the swirling blood in plastic. And
that's the last time, right?
This is the last time they do like a big rebuilding sequence. Maybe they felt like they'd done so many different kinds, it was hard to think up a new one. But I think.
Oh, if the TV show opens with a rebuilding sequence, it'll be so great. But
yes. Yeah. And then, you know, we were joking before we started recording, you know, they get a little fast and loose with some of the continuity here, but I think we're very forgiving of it. I think because we all kind of understand we're gonna go with it. So we don't remember Charles Lee Ray having a amulet on him when he died in the first movie.
It was in his pocket, and they just put it on his body for burial, like around his
he said it was in my pocket the night they got me down. And then every time I practice back New Jersey, I'd be like, woo! Because it's like, it was like 15 minutes from where I was from.
He's a Jersey boy. That's right.
It was like a hard Jersey repping movie, you know?
It's from like Hackensack, like North Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, so close to me. My little sister was born in Hackensack Hospital.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's just super close.
Is there a cemetery there? I mean, I'm sure it's not the same one, but you should go by it.
I'm not sure. I mean, I always thought that it was actually Hackensack Cemetery, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they filmed it. I think this was the first Child's Play movie that didn't film in America. I think they filmed it in Canada, you know, which often poses for us in movies, but they did a very good job of it, especially since this is a road movie.
Yeah.
You know, I think they do a pretty good resemblance of small town America as they travel around.
Totally.
Eric, I think Hackensack is close to where Action Park used to be. Liv, we were talking about Action Park, the dangerous and doomed amusement park that caused so many injuries over the years.
Oh no, I don't know about it.
Oh yeah, it closed down in the mid '80s.
No.
But yeah, it was
terrible.
It was a chaotic place.
there's a really fun documentary called Class Action Park about this place. That I think just as a Jersey person, you should check this out to get a piece. It's fascinating. Because I had some friends who went
apologize.
No, I had a lot of friends who went there as kids, and then they watch it now and they see how dangerous it was. They go, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have gone there when I was a kid." Oh well. And then the other thing they cheat that I'm like, I'm fine with it. I just think it's funny is he was very cut up at the end of the third movie. Like he was in it looked like he was in tiny pieces. But he's, she's able to stitch him back together. I felt like it would be a lot harder than that, but I think we can go with it,
The introduction of the Voodoo for Dummies was not just a great representation of how the type of humor this movie would have, but also once you have that book, you can make up anything magical if plot wise. And so you don't have to worry about that anymore. They're beyond actually at this point with the rule of whichever kid you reveal yourself to first, you have to possess, sort of over that. Now it's just, we've got a book, we've got an amulet. I can put your spirit in anything, like when Tiffany uses it and then Chucky uses it on her, and then they're going to use it at the end, but that doesn't happen with Jesse and Jade. But it just opens the door for so many more possibilities of Chucky horror and mischief.
Yeah, I think I'd mentioned how it's Don Mancini said he didn't necessarily love the voodoo thing, which was added by other writers on the first movie.
I loved it.
But I think what he did here, was just why not go big with it? And Voodoo for Dummies is great, and I want a copy of that book.
Now, so did I.
Right? They should make a prop. They make a prop. I kept meaning to order that you can buy the amulet. They make an official prop replica of the amulet. So they need to make Voodoo for Dummies because I will order both of those things if they become available.
So the first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie really set up Tiffany and Chucky's relationship so well. She has been looking for him for a long time. I think this movie only takes
waiting for him, looking for him.
Waiting for him. And it's all based on this misunderstanding of she thought there was a ring that he was going to propose to her, that it was just a ring he took
Van Pelt.
It's just the woman he killed and he was going to sell it. And so she had this torch she was carrying for so long because she thought there was a promise coming her way. And he completely lets the air out of her balloon, right away, laughs at her, scoffs at her to the point where it becomes a hostile relationship and she traps him. And so that relationship and how quickly it can turn, right on a dime, sets up the rest of the movie and the series. So they can be totally copacetic and each other's soulmates for 5 minutes. And then the next, they could just be stabbing each other completely.
Yeah,
and
that's
works.
what we call a toxic relationship. But
Yes.
I have to acknowledge her loyalty. She thought he proposed to her. 1, he's a serial killer. 2, he's dead. 3, now he's can only come alive if he's in this doll's body, So now you gotta be loyal to this doll, It's her loyalty knew no boundaries. She was gonna do whatever it took. And she was cool with it. She was cool with him being a doll. She was like, yeah, I got your back, babe.
Yeah, she was driven for sure. Yeah. Totally.
They do a great job of establishing her from the start. She is a killer. We learned that very quickly. But then she has that great line, I'll kill anybody, but I'll only sleep with someone I love. She is all about loyalty and love. This movie really has me, I realize. I mean, it's all great, but I'm when you kind of realize what they're going to do with Chucky is when he kills Damien, and then when he kind of really talks for the first time. Great kill. Ripping off the lip ring.
It's just playfully sitting on his face with the pillow over it. Yeah.
That's when I said when he goes, hi, to Tiffany, and it's
makes fun of Damien's little fake murder photo.
Yes.
She's just embarrassed for her. He's just oh, this is your guy.
And then when she's asking him, how have you been? And he's peachy. And then he's I've been kind of out of it. And it's just this is a Chucky we've never gotten to see before, because talking to someone he knows, he's
comfortable. He's not in fear of exposing himself or having to do anything. He's just with his girl.
Yeah, he's not in a rush to get out of the body, which is the past 2 sequels. Immediately his plan.
Yeah, it's great, and like you said, Matt, it's like we kind of quickly get their full dynamic. We learn, that she is a romantic, and it leads to, of course, him killing her. One of my favorite shots. We keep talking about how great this movie looks, but that shot when he pushes his face up to the shower curtain, to the curtain where she is behind the bathtub, looks so cool. And then the bubbles flying around.
Oh yeah, him with the bubbles is great. I love that. And I also, before the kill, I needed to call out the little baby line and the tickling, because it's fun. It's one of those funny things. Like Liv, you were talking about how much like you just want to punt him across the room sometimes, and it's just like the idea that he is menacing and evil, but also like adorably puntable, and like the fact that you could tickle him and he giggles like that, like he's such an interesting coin with very different sides. That's like where it's like, oh yeah, I don't want to run into Chucky in a dark alley, or do I? Because I could tickle him and like he would be funny. Like so.
He was so mad at her. She locked him up. She threw rice and it got right into stitches. Gave him this doll. Like he felt so disrespected, and he's so smart for using the ring to, cut through the wood.
Yeah.
I love the speak and spell. I remember this is another movie that I distinctly remember seeing opening night because the audience was so into it and so laughing at every one of Chucky's funny lines, and when he was doing the speak and spell, and it grabbed people. They were very
and
into
his
what
drawings.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's one funny thing that makes me laugh a lot because it's kind of a nonsensical thing. Like I'm like, why would Chucky do this? But it makes me laugh a lot. Is when he is drinking the water out of the fish bowl.
I hate that. I feel so bad for that fish.
That fish is in trouble.
I'm like, man, is the fish gonna die? I was so upset. That's the only thing that like upset me about Chucky. I was like, wow, he's gonna kill this fish. Like,
yeah, it's funny, Liv. Like, people always say, like, you can, we all have this thing where it's like you can kill anyone in a slasher movie or a disaster movie, but don't kill the dog. I like that for you. It extends to the fish too. Or
the fish, yeah. It goes for any animal.
Liv, don't ever watch a movie called A Fish Called Wanda, which involves a sort of an interrogation scene where someone tortures another person's beloved fish.
No, I'll never watch
in the name of comedy.
In the name of comedy, but yeah, if it's fish that
I'll never watch
if it causes you, it's
so much grief. I have so much grief.
The most famous person coming out of this movie late. Katherine Heigl would go on to become a big star.
Yeah.
But at the time, the biggest star for Eric and myself was John Ritter, who I was.
And we should mention Jennifer Tilly had an Oscar nomination like
Jennifer Tilly
4 years before this.
And she got her this role, I think, because of Bound. Is that correct?
I think that certainly helped. Yeah. And she was coming off the Oscar nomination followed by Bound, which is an awesome movie. But yeah, John Ritter was obviously like a beloved person, for 80s kids and earlier.
I'll put it this way. When I went and saw the movie, I knew Jennifer Tilly was in it. John Ritter surprised me utterly. Like I don't think I knew he was in it going in. So to see him opening the door right away, like our first cutaway from the Chucky and Tiffany, I'd never seen him in anything like this or playing a role like that. So not just the horror movie or a comedy slasher movie, but playing this straight-laced sort of draconian chief of police was very against type for John Ritter.
He is such a jerk. He was a
jerk.
And then Ronnie, you would go on.
He says, "You can go to hell for all I care. Once you're 18, you can go to hell for all I care."
I know.
He would Ronnie, you would cast his son Jason in Freddy versus Jason, so he would get both generation of the Ritters.
The same director did Freddy versus Jason, and he would use them both. I guess John Ritter. The other thing I found out is that John Ritter almost cameoed in Child's Play 3. He'd done a movie with David Kirshner, who produces all these movies, so that was their connection. And so this cameo didn't happen for 3, but then when they came back 7 years later, he had a bigger role than he would have had that first time.
Oh, what if he was the garbage man?
He was going to be a security guard at
no.
the. He was going to be a security. I think he probably was also going to get killed. He's going to be security guard at the toy factory at the beginning. That was just didn't end up in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because this movie, I thought like maybe he was going to be someone at the.
Oh yeah, the guy. Yeah, because he's trying to help, right? I said this last week. I said he's trying to help what he hears. He hears someone yelling for help. So he didn't. I was going to say he didn't deserve it, but a lot of Chucky's victims don't deserve it.
Yeah, like there was the amusement park security guard at the end that Tyler goes to for Tyler. I can't remember. Tyler goes to for help, and he winds up dead as well. So John Ritter, Katherine Heigl, Jennifer Tilly, obviously. Everyone else, I think. Who's the actor who played Jesse? He was on soaps. He's done some TV work. There's a Kathy Najimy shows up way later in the Niagara Falls hotel scene. She would go on. I don't know what was Kathy Najimy's star power at this time.
Oh, the other honeymooner.
Yeah, and then well, this is after Hocus Pocus. I mean, she was already a star, so that was a cameo.
Okay,
I thought was the maid.
She was the
maid
at the hotel. Yeah. So that's that was just a funny little funny little cameo there. The actor plays David. I definitely recognized him and I looked him up and he's remained in Canada, but he was on 3 episodes of iZombie and 2 episodes of Supernatural, and so he's been
working.
Yeah. So he's consistently popping up in stuff I watch. Did you know what was your familiarity, Liv, with John Ritter?
Three's Company.
So you did watch Three's Company, okay?
Yeah.
You
my door. I love that.
I will say, as someone younger than us, you mentioned All in the Family on the last time as well. So it feels like your late 70s, early 80s sitcoms.
I really do. I do. I don't know why I know them so well, but I watched them all growing up. I love Three's Company. That was my favorite. I love Three's Company.
It was great. It was such a beloved show. And yeah, it was obviously very fun to cast him in this show against type. I remember I did not re-listen to it. I just remember years ago, I listened to the audio commentary on this movie. And I think that's where they said that they cut a line that I kind of wish they kept in, because it would have been like a meta line on multiple levels, which is when they kill him, when they kill John Ritter's character, Chucky was going to say, sorry, Jack, 3's a crowd. Which was a joke on so many levels of like the Child's Play 2 ad campaign, the fact that he played Jack Tripper, the fact that he was on a show called Three's Company that had a spinoff called Three's a Crowd. So I felt they should have kept that line in.
That would have been perfect. Maybe they didn't want to make it too much.
I think they probably decided I think you're right, Liv, because they stuck with the that reminds me of someone, like they're like obviously referencing Hellraiser and Pinhead.
Wanted like less of
so I think that was their veer.
That was a great kill too, and I don't believe that they lifted up his body and put him in the trunk. No way. No way. No way.
That would be a good MythBusters sequence.
So this movie sort of inadvertently answered a question I had about Child's Play 3, which when Chucky mails himself and he arrives at the military academy in a box. So here we see it in action. Tiffany figuring out how to get them as dolls. They're not packed up or anything, but get them from one place to another, leaving a note or actually calling on the phone too, like using her Tiffany voice to get Jesse, her neighbor, to take them. Because I think we theorized that Chucky had just written a note for the CEO's employee to like ship him off to an academy.
Yeah, ship this doll pretending to be him. But I really like also, like we were talking about how, the Chucky having someone to really bounce off of. I love that she doesn't know how to pretend to be a doll yet. And like she does the big pose with the hand up. Like
what I always thought, especially I watched it back again this week, and Jesse's trying to do a good thing. He knows his girl, Jade's unhappy living with her uncle. He won't let them date, et cetera, et cetera. They couldn't go to prom. And he's like, I got $1,000 and I'm going to move you out of your mansion and I'm going to provide for us and I'm going to get us a house and work 2 jobs. I'll put you through school. Like with $1,000, bro.
Like not even in 1998, with inflation, still nowhere near enough. You
could maybe put a security deposit on like a shitty apartment, you know, like
he hadn't thought it through.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting, even if they hadn't crossed paths with Chucky and Tiffany, Jesse and Jade to work out ultimately. I think there were a lot of obstacles, and also just like, his misunderstanding of finances being one of them.
I also like that, we reflect again.
Impulse.
Yes, we reflect again that Tiffany, she's a romantic. She doesn't want Jade and Jesse hurt because she knows Chucky might just decide to off one of them, but she doesn't want to mess with true love. So although she is willing to take over their bodies at the end, but that's a different thing altogether.
It's such an interesting facet of Tiffany's character, because not only is she loyal to Charles, as we've talked about, but just the idea of undying romantic love, like that's like her ultimate goal, and she will protect it no matter who has it. And so the fact that so in movies they'll set something up at the beginning that plays out at the end. Usually it's a weapon or a secret move or something that you see happen, and then the hero uses that at the end. I really like that in this movie it's just a phrase that she says to him about doing the dishes. She talks to Jesse about, like, if a woman cooks, the least a man can do is do the dishes. And that's weaponized at the end. And I thought that was amazing. Like the fact that that's how
callback.
Yeah, yep. Jesse, but he uses it to like really thwart their entire plan. Like that's what
shows how much really, really, really weren't going to work. Because she like, lived by that. Her mom told her, if you clean, the least a man can do is wash a dish. And she even told Jesse that. She was like, treat her right, Jesse. My mother always said, blah, 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 blah. She believed in that strongly. And then so when Chucky at the end was like, Tiff, sisters aren't going to wash themselves, she was so beside herself and couldn't believe.
Yep.
Oh,
it was amazing because not only was it a callback to something that you didn't realize would actually come back at the end, but it was playing off the fact that Chucky is such an a-hole. Like, if there's one thing you can rely on Chucky to be, is a complete and utter jackass. And so like all they had to do was say something where a reasonable person would say something nice. He's going to say the complete opposite and the wrong thing. And they bet heavily on that, and it worked. And I loved it.
Well, I remember, Matt, even when this movie came out, I think you said to me that it made you laugh that they basically made Chucky into like Al Bundy. And, and it works. It works really well because he was enjoying those cookies until right then, but then he just
he was like having the time of his life. Right? He got this trailer. He was eating like Jade already had gotten her makeover by Tiffany. Things were going smooth. He thought he's like bonding with Jesse up in the front seat.
Yeah, that's right.
Jess was observing.
If he could only offer to do the dishes himself, they would have gotten away with this,
Yeah.
But nope.
Chucky's so prideful. Jesse was like not much of a housekeeper, and Chucky looked back and was like, "Oh, he couldn't handle it."
So I realized we jumped ahead, of course, though, past the entire honeymoon suite sequence, which has
best kill scene,
an amazing kill scene. I wish I had with me
a couple kill scenes.
That's right.
We actually skipped through them all.
Yeah. So I think we talked about right at the top of this conversation about how there's a one-upsmanship to Tiffany and Chucky's relationship, which she even tells him because stabbing is, went out with Dahmer and Bundy. The ways that you kill people is sort of passé and played out. Let's do something cool. It leads to the airbag nail gun or a nail kill, which actually wasn't a kill technically because he would have to get, but the maiming and mutilation of Chief of Police Kincaid, where she's like, they're trying to be innovative and inventive, but I still like the fact that all these movies later, going back to the first movie, we've got an explosion in the toy store, an explosion at that house that Andy was taken to when he's trying to find Eddie. There's still giant explosions in these Chucky movies. We've got a car blowing up. We've got, I think the trailer at the end blows up. It's just like for horror movies, they always go big with the explosions when it comes to Chucky.
They definitely do.
Yeah,
and
the cop was he deserved it.
oh, he was a jerk. Yeah. Well, that entire police department was very corrupt.
Yeah, there's
when he's like, it's not personal, but I guess he's getting like you mentioned
extra.
John Ritter is living pretty well, so I guess he does have that payoff money, that he gives him.
Do we know where they live? Where somehow Niagara Falls is on the way to Hackensack?
We don't. Maybe they do live in Canada.
I was going to say it seems like they'd have to be in Canada.
None of them had
what?
None of them had an accent.
Yeah, there was they hit it well. Maybe if we listened very closely, we'd hear a couple A's in there.
So in Niagara Falls,
he's going to school. Do you remember?
No, yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't get any identification until they get to Niagara Falls. That's our first big geographic identification.
It's a road movie playing off of, like they said, Bonnie and Clyde, Mickey and Mallory Knox, where they are another tradition of the Child's Play series. They are being framed for all of this, and they're being painted as this thrill kill couple. And an interesting thing that plays out between Jesse and Jade for a little while is both of them suspect the other.
That's very fun.
The more they expect the other one, the more they suspect them of being the one who's actually doing the killing, the more their impulsive relationship and hitting the road starts to sort of fade away. And they're like, this wasn't a good idea. Like, even if the other person isn't a killer, maybe this was still rash and we got ahead of ourselves a little bit. And so,
maybe that $1,000.
You guys thought someone was the killer already, but you still were like, yeah, let's get married.
Yeah, I think especially for Jesse there, impulse is the name of the game. But yeah, they do get married, which is around the time when Chucky and Tiffany are bonding at the most. And like you said, also we should mention the very strange, interesting couple that I guess they are swingers, but they're also thieves.
Yeah, they're the worst.
And again, Tiffany's very insulted because they're disrupting like what's a happy night for Jesse and Jade.
And she called Chucky ugly.
That's right.
And so she was like, "Oh, not my man."
Not her man.
And she stole like their wallets.
Yep. And
Wasn't
somewhere
sneaky about it.
I have a smaller Tiffany action figure that I wish I had with me because she comes with the champagne bottle. Has a little accessory for another cool shot. Another very memorable moment with the mirror shatter. And all those
waterbed,
yep,
blood, champagne.
Even there, that's an explosion. It's a water explosion.
Yeah,
it is, and I love how it all plays out too, because using the shot reflected in the mirror on the ceiling, you don't know what she's about to do. You know, like as you watch that movie for the first time, you're like, what is happening? She has a bottle. Is she going to kill them with the bottle? What is her plan? But always go for the unexpected kill is sort of Tiffany's MO. So I like that she still stayed true to that and got them with all the shards of glass from the mirror.
Yeah, and Wendy from Hocus Pocus comes in.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh, these kids have so much fun.
They should bring her back in another movie.
Yeah.
She's been obsessing about it ever since.
She's like, not again.
Right.
So one of the big examples of the way that this movie takes several steps beyond in content, but just in a humor category too, is the doll sex. And it's a big, funny standout moment. And it's literally one of those things where you're like, you can show it to somebody who's never seen a Chucky movie and they're like, what is happening? Why? I don't understand how this works. I don't understand how this is in a movie. It's a funny thing to sort of pluck out and just out of context. Even in context, it's ridiculous, but showing it to somebody who has no idea about this franchise, their heads just spin around.
Yeah.
Like Chucky. I remember this was another point where the opening night audience, who again, very into this movie, were having a ball and cheering and screaming because we couldn't believe they're actually going there, with it. I will say, again, something we were mentioning, I know before
so his plastic comment didn't even work.
Right.
Because she got pregnant.
And he says I'm anatomically correct, but we saw those naked dolls in the second movie. They were not anatomically correct.
Also, and also in Bride of Chucky, we saw a naked doll, and it just no anatomy,
Yeah.
So
it's a special thing for this movie.
It's a page of Voodoo for Dummies we haven't seen yet.
There you go.
Yeah.
But it's hysterical. Like, again, it's the biggest swing this movie takes. But I think that it fits the absurd level. This movie that somehow doesn't. It's weird. I think it's because the way they shoot it and because it like looks so cool and the kills are really cool that it is totally a comedy and it's like kind of making fun of itself, but it's still. I don't know. You still kind of stick with it. So as insane as the doll sex is,
he proposed to her in that scene.
Right. With the finger,
with the finger and the thumb, and he couldn't get it off. She started excited. And she couldn't even get on her ring finger. Had to go on her thumb because
size-wise, it just wasn't going to work otherwise. But I think it works.
It always reminds me of the scene where he can't get the ring off and has to it reminds me of the Beetlejuice scene, like going back to. When Beetlejuice is trying to get the ring off the finger for Lydia.
That's right.
So
that's funny. I love that movie too. That's a great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's another obsession of mine.
Edward Scissorhands. I'm like equally obsessed.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that? Did you see that Edward Scissorhands the car commercial with Winona Ryder? And
no.
You should Google, go on YouTube and look for it. It's a very recent commercial.
Okay.
But it's an Edward Scissorhands sequel with Timothée Chalamet playing their kid and Winona Ryder reprising her role from the
Seed
movie.
of Scissorhands.
And he kind of looks like Chucky.
Oh yeah, he does. He's got
not really, but because I was thinking, I was like, I always thought he was like super handsome too.
He's all stitched together and sort of,
and he likes to cut things,
like an unfinished quality to him where it just adds to his allure. Was that a Super Bowl commercial?
Yes, it debuted with the Super Bowl.
Damn, I want to watch it. I'm gonna Google it as soon as.
Yep, I just saw it airing again though yesterday, so it's like kind of still been airing. But this is when David, their friend, comes back. And that's a whole funny thing, I think, with him being like, I realize this is crazy because neither of you are killers. And then suddenly thinking, oh my God, my friends are killers.
Yeah. Why does this van smell like
Yeah. I like, this is not socks.
Yeah.
She says it's socks. And I was thinking back because this has now become kind of a movie trope. The someone gets hit by something out of nowhere and they kind of explode. Like Final Destination did it like a year after this movie. But this is the first one I remember. I mean, certainly it was the first time it happened in this level.
Shocking, and it was so sudden. You didn't expect that to happen in that moment.
Not at all. This was actually funny. I was just thinking about how, because this movie isn't very scary. It's not trying to be scary. It's like we said, it's trying to be funny. But David as a character gets two big scares. One is when he knocks on the glass. I remember in the theater, everyone yelled and screamed because it's that moment where they decide to stop running because they think one of them is the killer. And then he suddenly raps on the glass, and that's really scary. And then him getting bit by, again, I think the audience just lost it. Just the insanity of what just happened when he explodes.
And then also, it's like he was getting a little bit crazy, though. I mean, he whipped out the gun and he started aiming it at people, and no one did anything wrong, really, but he's all paranoid.
And then Chucky grabs another gun, and so it's the end of that guy's life. We
was very confusing.
It's very confusing. Right? A lot to process.
Yeah, one of the things that also, aside from like referencing Martha Stewart and playing Rob Zombie or something, Rob Zombie I think was actually just used in an NXT Stand and Deliver. They used it because he has a new album.
That's right.
Is the fact that this movie also came after a string of 90s films about couples on the run with guns. So whether it's Natural Born Killers or True Romance or Love in a 45, it still plays on that.
It was Brad Pitt, California.
California with a K. Yeah. With him and Juliette Lewis. Juliette Lewis was in two of them.
Yes.
The fact that it was twisting that where a couple is being framed for being a thrill kill couple by two dolls who are a thrill kill couple, I think was also a really fun and inventive way of modernizing this movie and putting it in sort of the category of other movies of the time that a lot of people were doing. So yeah, I'd already previously mentioned the line where they ruined Chucky and Tiffany's very brief hours of bliss by bringing up the cooking and dishes, and she gets shoved in an oven. He gets kicked out a window. The whole sort of recreational vehicle goes careening off of the side of the road, and
you finally find the grandparents that live there.
Oh yeah, and like so that's another thing. There's a lot of quick kills in this too. Kills off screen, like that couple, like you said, Liv, and then the gravedigger, who they very quickly, because as soon as you're wondering who dug that grave and dug Charles Lee Ray, he shoots the poor guy.
Right.
Had been forcing, again, someone else with a very confusing final 15 minutes of his life, been forced to do something by a doll and then killed. And then the showdown comes in the rain. It really looks really cool.
Her sort of first of all, she's all burnt, so it evokes Chucky in the first movie because now she's the one all burnt.
She's
but
so creepy.
She looks so creepy with the white hair and the wind blowing.
Jack, but the grave was dug because they found his fingerprints, right?
Right.
Yeah, they were
on the
exhuming
murder.
it.
So
I don't think, Matt, I think you're right. I don't think that he was doing it at Chucky's.
Yeah, they had someone dig up the remains.
Oh, okay. So he just shot him because he was there.
Still there.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Oh, no, we lost her. Oh, there
no, she's there.
No.
Yeah. So I think, wrong place, wrong time for that guy. Unfortunately,
totally.
Getting that assignment. But I also, I really love how she looks. She looks really spooky and creepy, and the wind blowing.
Her poor hair. Her hair was gone. She had none left.
Yeah. She's seen better days. This Ronnie Yu, the movie that kind of was his claim to fame was a movie called The Bride with White Hair, which was like a Hong Kong kind of a spooky supernatural movie, and there's definitely some imagery in this sequence that mimics that. I think he's kind of referencing himself in a really fun way there. But yeah, it looks great. It's just all these shots of them. I really like the prisoner exchange, when Jade and her to pass each other.
And she's still kind of devoted. She says her little comment to Jesse, then she looks at Chucky and is like, we belong together, dead. She's still down with the loyalty even after he burnt her. Well, he didn't burn her in the oven, but he led to it by losing.
She's determined now. She has a new bit of programming where it's like she's still loyal to him, but she understands at this moment that both of them are severely flawed and
then he die.
Are better off murder, suicide, or whatnot. We need to go. We're better off dead, like you said, Liv, and and then it's just stabbing back and forth at that point, and a really cool shovel fight where from over top you can see that I don't know, they look like little people from over.
They usually it's little people when they do those shots above, because they obviously, we've talked about how the dolls can never walk, or move very well. But yeah, that looks great. And then the We Belong Dead, a direct callback to Bride of Frankenstein, which she's watching at the beginning of the movie. She loves, and which gives the movie its title. Chucky also has one of my all-time favorite, a-hole Chucky slasher movie killer lines, which is when he says, "Get off my knife" to her when she's
no respect. He thought, that was the worst. So disrespectful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
My knife. You're actually making my knife disgusting right now. Right. Blood on it. He hated it.
You're more. I respect my knife more than you.
I prioritize my knife before you. Yes.
And then, so at that point, we've got, and also the interesting imagery of the time, because a lot of action movies starting in the early 90s, people with two guns. So even Chucky gets in on that, holding the two guns.
Yep.
And this movie doesn't need it. The first three movies, they play an escalation game with the kill at the end. He gets mangled in some way, but he comes back. And then you think you've killed him again, and he comes back. And then he gets melted and blown up and burnt and so on. And this one is a lot more straightforward. But given the tone and the lunacy of this movie, I don't think it needs it. I think however it is, it's fine. And because all that happens to him is actually similar to the third movie where he gets shot. He gets shot quite a bit. And put down in his own grave on top of his own body. I also like how disgusted he is by his own dead
the rats
and by the mice.
he's not happy.
Compared to the mice.
Because I didn't need to see that. That was great.
Actually, I don't think. Yeah, going forward, it would be really funny if, because of his size, maybe it's even like something that Charles Lee Ray didn't like. He didn't like rats. But like now that he's even smaller, if he has like a phobia for rats or something like that, that would be a really funny weakness for him. But even so, he gets shot down. And it's not the most spectacular kill we've seen in the series, but he says, "I'll always come back." Like that is, and everyone, it's like that's almost even a meta line in itself, because it's like the writers will always find a way for me to come back. There's a Voodoo for Dummies book now. I'll see you in a bit.
Right. I'll see you in the next sequel. But it's just what he says, but dying is such a bitch, because it's like, hey, I don't have to enjoy it. I'm just saying I'll be back.
I was just going to say, what happens to the amulet? But I guess instead of Chucky, Glenn or Glenda has it.
Yeah. I think, which makes sense given how things play out at the very end there.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, Matt. Like they didn't have to try to do the topping of the like escalation, because so much was going on. There was 2 dolls to deal with anyway, because she's the one who has the final coming back moment. Even though then it looks like maybe she dies again after that. So they don't need to try to do the like big explosion ending here, given everything happens, especially with the very end. What do you think, Liv, of our final moments here, which directly set up the next sequel in a way the other ones hadn't?
I didn't expect that either. I just was with the detectives just looking down at this like, man, what a scene. Who's going to believe this?
Right.
And then Tiffany starts screaming, and then I think he pokes her. Pokes her. Then she starts going in labor. She starts screaming, and then shoots this little demon baby out. I don't know.
It goes right for the guy's face too.
I love his screaming.
The sharpest teeth you've ever seen.
Yes.
And bloody and gross, and goes right to the detective. So you don't even know, I guess. I mean, at least he got the word out. At least the detective got the word out. I don't know if that was the end of him or not.
Right. Yeah, he had that younger partner at one point. I think it's a really fun ending. Like you said, when he's poking her, it's like, I'm like, okay, well, she's gonna come back again, and maybe she'll kill him, and that's the ending. But then the fact that she gives birth is amazing, and it is kind of like the movie kind of being like, yes, we're gonna go all the way. We had a doll sex scene, so why not end this movie with this voodoo reincarnated doll giving birth? And I do like how he gets splattered with the blood, and he's screaming, and then he does something really weird, which is like he smears the blood down his face.
I know. I think voodoo pregnancy is like rapid though.
Yeah,
I think that is on page 97 of Voodoo for Dummies.
Yeah.
Even if this movie had bombed, which it didn't, not gone any further, there would, of course, be 3 more movies after this, and then now a TV series coming. It's still an amazing exclamation point and punctuation at the end of this movie. Like, just as if this had been the final Chucky scene of just the giving birth moment, it's still quite perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, we know you want more, so it's coming.
Yeah, this was the leaving it all on the table movie. But yeah, like I guess I just keep coming back to the fact that it all worked when it could have been a total like, what are you guys doing? This was a terrible miscalculation. The title Bride of Chucky was like such a like, that's crazy. That's the title of the next movie. But yeah, they found the right tone, and they were winking.
What a strong foundation and fan base they built too. That people,
went with it.
It's all. They're like, okay.
Yeah, they're like, and I think you're absolutely right. Like the fan base was there, and the fan base wanted to like Chucky anyway, and they were giving him funnier lines throughout the movies, and so let's just sit and have some time with him and his lady friend here, and it was very, very enjoyable for it.
I want to be Tiffany.
I need to send you pictures, Liv. I
want to reprise role. That's my dream.
My wife, who is often told that she looks like Jennifer Tilly, that's like one of her the celebrities.
Oh my gosh, let me see her.
And we were Chucky and Tiffany for Halloween a few years ago, and I think it worked out pretty well.
That's awesome.
So I'll send you photos of that later.
Yeah.
But yes, you would make an excellent Tiffany as well if they ever need a substitute.
That's for Halloween.
There you go. Well, like we said, they got to get Chucky back into the wrestling world, and then
gosh, he could be part of the Riot Squad. It would fit so perfectly.
There you go. Oh man, yeah.
So this is here's the plan of attack, because Chucky's coming to USA and Sci-Fi. So if any cross promotion happens, maybe on Raw. So what happens, Liv, is you win the tag titles. So you can go to either show, and then you can show up on Raw if and when Chucky arrives to promote the new Sci-Fi USA series, Chucky.
I'd even let him win the title. Like, here, take him on the promo tour. Thank you. You're welcome. It was a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. You guys have a good respectful moment at the end. Yeah. I think I endorse this heartily, including the Tiffany joining the Riot Squad. She can hit Chucky with a chair. And there you go.
It would be just hardcore. Like, who withstands being burnt in an oven, and then still comes out and wants more? That's like Riot Squad behavior if I've ever seen it.
Tiffany and Chucky would work well as like an intergender tag team for 3 minutes, and then everything would dissolve and disintegrate between them.
Totally. Like a count out.
Well,
they just walk off, be gone.
I hope our ideas get heard here by everyone involved from USA, WWE, and Universal to make this all happen, because I think it's a must. Liv, thank you so much for joining us again to discuss the amazing film that is Bride of Chucky.
Thank you so much.
Love it.
It's awesome that this is one of your, if not your top favorite movie of all time. So
yeah, it's in the top 5, maybe even top 3.
Top 3, yeah.
What are the other two? What are the other two?
I really like The Grinch.
The Jim Carrey one?
Yeah, I love that movie for some reason. I don't know why. I love it so much.
I think Jim Carrey is hysterical in The Grinch. And he has a line in that movie where he is riding really fast on like a rocket sled. And he says, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to throw up, and then I'm going to die.
I'm going to die. Yeah. And just
that I love his delivery.
Designs and the hairstyles and the noses, everything was just so Whoville. And, we don't even know what that is, but it was so Whoville. It was so perfect. And the fact that they loved Christmas, and that was like, they wait all year and have a yearly countdown until Christmas. I don't know. I just loved it. It's such a great feel-good film, and it teaches you a good message,
Yeah.
Do you go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal?
I didn't go this year, but I've been twice.
Yeah. So in LA, they have a very different setup there, and so they always do the terror tram, they call it, where they take the tram that you would do for the tour. And there was one year where I feel like, oh my God, it would have been your favorite experience ever, because Chucky was the host of the terror tram that year, and he would talk to you on the video screens. Yeah. And as part of the terror tram, you also go by the Whoville sets, which they just tore down a few months ago, but
really?
Were there for years. And so you get out, and they'd be all lit up, the Whoville sets, except they'd have like crazy people with chainsaws in front of them. So literally they were like blending 2 of your favorite movies into one experience there.
Crossover.
Right.
I forgot
to ask you your other, those are 2. What's your other third favorite movie?
I feel like I hate that I can't, I don't know. Whenever someone asks me what's my favorite movie, I always have the same blank. And I always remind myself, okay, get it together. Next time you get asked that, you'll have your solid go-tos. But then I feel like I forget every single movie. I think of Alpha Dog, but that's definitely not my favorite movie. But that's always something I throw in because it's the only one I can remember in the time.
That's okay. You can have Bride of Chucky, Grinch, and then you can fill in the blank next time.
Is Alpha Dog one of those films for you that you could always just watch and have on? Because I have movies that I don't even think are my favorite movies, but I can always have them on in the background, and they're always utterly watchable for me,
I could watch it until the last 20 or 15 or so minutes. If you've watched that movie,
understandable. Yeah,
right.
It's so sad. I could watch it until it gets to that point, but that's not my third. That's not my top 3.
Okay.
Third.
It floats down a little lower. Well, again, Liv, thank you so much. It was great having you on here to
I did have a third.
No problem at all.
I'm concise.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
And that was Liv Morgan talking Bride of Chucky. We're going to say just a few more things here before we wrap up. I don't know if what else did you have to say about the movie, Eric? Anything that's still lingering?
Yeah, a couple things. It's funny. The one nice thing when we pre-record these is that if there are things I forgot to talk about, I can throw them in here. Although if I forget even more, we still have more Chucky movies to go, so I can keep entering them in. I was just thinking we never talked about the poster of this movie. We did mention in the earlier Chucky Gets Lucky tagline. The poster of this movie though is funny just because it's blatantly copying Scream 2. With the two faces. Again, this, the movie's existence is because of Scream and kind of revitalizing horror at that point in the late 90s.
So it's copying it, but it's also purposely not hiding the fact. I think it's meant to evoke Scream 2.
It is. It's just a weird, it's like, it's a strange thing to me because it's like, it's kind of a wink to it, but it's also
but it is a wink to it, but it's also like, isn't it funny when Chucky is at the front and center of it and not an actual human being? Like, Chucky is inherently funny. Putting Chucky in different places, like if you turned on CNN and saw a Senate hearing and Chucky was there, Eric, that would be pretty funny.
Well, that would be very funny.
I'm saying you put Chucky in it. If you were like, can I talk to the chef? I really don't like my food. And Chucky comes out with a little chef hat on. Like, that's funny. So like
all your scenarios are amazing.
So putting Chucky in different situations is inherently hilarious is what I'm insisting.
It's a fine line for me between, are you just copying someone else's campaign, but also being like, hey, this is obviously, everyone's going to know this is copied from Screen 2. We're not hiding it. And we're almost acknowledging going in, hey, we're going to get pretty meta and comedic here because the Scream movies have made this Chucky's revitalization possible. So why not? And by the way, I had Jennifer Tilly signed the Bride of Chucky coming to VHS and DVD poster for me when I worked at Virgin Megastore and wrote, look for Seed of Chucky or Seed of Chucky coming or something about Seed of Chucky. And which was true, but just would take several years to happen. So I had her promise on her autograph for many years.
And if it didn't happen, you would drive that up to the offices of Hollywood and be like, look what I've got. It's like in the deal. The deal. It's just a contract.
And then I also just want to mention the running time that these movies are lean movies. This was another just under 90 minutes.
Yeah, tight 90. We love a tight 90.
Tight 90, but doesn't feel like it's lacking. A lot happens in the film. So just want to say, and again, I think you and I are both on the same page. We're totally fine with 3-hour movies if they warrant it, if they need it. These movies don't, and they know it, and it's great. They're delivering. And then just
get in, do your business, get out. Put Chucky in different situations because it's innately riotous, and we love it.
Yes. And then it's just a slightly somber note, but it's just like, we talked about John Ritter, but it's just like, watching this movie, it's like, there's two very talented people in this movie, John Ritter and Alexis Arquette, who both unfortunately passed away too soon. But they're both great in this movie and I think are really fun in it and giving it their all. So just wanted to do a brief acknowledgement there watching it.
We did mention while talking to Liv Morgan, Freddy versus Jason. We've also talked about Freddy versus Jason as a main event here over on We Enjoy Wrestling when we were doing the Friday the 13th franchise recap. But we were talking about how great this movie looked, and you were like, "This is one of the best looking slasher movie I've ever seen."
Yeah.
But we could probably also pair that up with the other Ronnie Yu horror movie, which is Freddy versus Jason. They both have ultimately a very similar stark look.
But I think this one's even pretty, like this one has more like cool, like one cool shot worthy moments. There's some cool shots in Freddy vs. Jason too, but this one especially, it's like there are just some really cool looking shots in this film that really stand out. And maybe we can wrap on this unless you have something else. And my John Ritter story, which is my one only time I can't even call this meeting him, but encountering him was I was walking with my friend Maya, who Matt. We were at a movie theater and we were walking up to the movie theater and there was a man walking ahead of us. And
I remember Maya because I wanted to ask her out and then her dad yelled at me. So that was
her dad who worked on Twin Peaks or maybe the movie, and gave me a cool Polaroid picture of David Lynch and Matt Shanamick on the set of that.
And he signed it saying, "Stay tuned for Twin Peaks: The Return," and that would take a lot of years to come.
Yes, it was like 25 years later. No, so Maya and I were walking up to a movie theater, and there was a man walking ahead of us towards the theater as well. But he stopped. I have a feeling he was looking for his family or his people. He parked the car or something, because he stopped and he turned around looking, and we're probably 10 feet from him, and it's John Ritter, and Maya just goes, "Hey!" Like, she just lets out this exclamation that John Ritter is standing in front of us, and he gave us a big smile and he waved, and that was I would
imagine that John Ritter was an absolute light. You know what I mean? Like, he was probably a delightful human being from all accounts that I've heard, is that he was. Yes. But I would imagine he would enjoy that.
Yes, he did.
My John Ritter story has nothing to do with John Ritter meeting him at all, because I just all I want to say is that I loved Three's Company, but it made me so nervous. I would have to leave the room because
there was a misunderstanding.
There was always a misunderstanding.
Yes.
There was a very specific one when Chrissy's father, who was a reverend, showed up, and they had to lie to him about Jack being there, saying that he was actually Janet's fiance and that they were going to get married. And he said, "Well, why don't I just marry you right here?"
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, "Oh no, he has to marry Janet." And, so anyway.
And he just jumped out a window.
He also made me cry uncontrollably when I was a kid because of a TV movie called Unnatural Causes, where he played a war vet who was poisoned by Agent Orange.
I remember, I would never have been, what was it called?
Unnatural Causes.
Okay. I didn't remember that title at all, but Agent Orange, the fact that Agent Orange was a thing, I always connected to that movie, that TV movie, because that's kind of what introduced me to that concept of.
And Alfre Woodard was in it too.
There you go.
All right.
John Ritter was great.
Until next week, we're going to talk about Seed of Chucky. So if you feel like following along, or just just want to watch the next Chucky movie on your own, you can watch it on Netflix. And thank you for coming on this Bride of Chucky journey with us. And thank you again to our guest, WWE Superstar Liv Morgan, who I'm sure sooner than later is going to win those women's tag team titles with her partner, Ruby Riott.
And you can see Liv Friday nights on SmackDown.
All right. Everything is possible, but nothing is real. And Shakma.
Shakma!